It's just so great being able to learn and do life with people here and try new, different things and have a blast doing it. My name is Tessa Brizzolara. I was born in Alaska. When I was 9 years old, my family moved to Washington State. I went to Corbin University, studied there all 4 years, and so that's how I became connected with Foothills. Foothills became my home church during my time at Corbin. Probably when I was like 5 years old, I was asked to draw a picture of what I wanted to do growing up, and I drew a picture of myself handing out Bibles. When asked that question of why did you want to do missions, and I don't really know, other than that I have peace that this is where the Lord is leading. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm here in South Sudan with Africa Inland Mission. And honestly, I was first drawn to Africa Inland Mission, I think just because the name had Africa in it. In my head, I wanted to go to Africa. So, okay, why not look into this organization? And so pursued AIM, pursued wanting to do a training program with them. And part of being on the training team here in South Sudan, I'm in a town called Tirit, was to spend these 2 years in Tirit, South Sudan, and then be prepared after those first 2 years to continue in South Sudan. To prepare to come halfway around the world to South Sudan, understanding, I think, the history, helps prepare me to come here and engage better in the culture here. Being a part of this team, I've learned a lot about what it takes to live in South Sudan while doing ministry at the same time. It's been a really neat opportunity to learn a lot. We're reading books, we're reading papers, but we're in the community on a daily basis doing life in ministry here in Tirit, learning the language. Language learning is something in this context you can't do beforehand because it's not a written language. So it's blown my mind that you can actually learn a language and I'm at a point where I'm able to understand most of what I hear, communicate what I want to get across decently. There's definitely more to learn. I love the simplicity of life, but it has some challenges as well. Just dealing with rats in the house, trying to trap rats, or things like not having a refrigerator or freezer, so having to make food trips are more daily trips to the market, and things like not having a real shower. That's one of the things I miss the most, is a real shower. I just have a bucket and a cup that I use. But there have been some bigger challenges just being in a place where life is hard for the people around you. There is major poverty. This place is a country that has recently just been in war and much conflict, and so just emotionally, that can be a challenge of understanding and seeing the harsh life that the people around you have. Another challenge is something like the weather, something out of your control. The weather, this year, the rains came late, so people weren't able to plant, and planting here is a livelihood. Here in Tirit, there is a local body of believers. There are multiple churches here that we are working with. And really the goal is to see local missionaries come out of these churches. But within South Sudan, although it is accepting of Christianity, there are many, many tribal beliefs that are very prevalent. And so it is one of those things where people will just add on Christianity to anything else that they might believe. They'll go to church one Sunday and go to the witch doctor the following day. Living in a country with so many people who don't know the gospel, so many tribes, our goal is to see some of these believers who do know Jesus go out and share the gospel with those around them. And so being so involved in my church, I get opportunities just to invest in some of these relationships, seek out people who do know the Lord and encourage them, disciple them. Being a part of the choir at the local church here is a big deal. So even though I didn't imagine that choir would be one of my primary visions, I'm faithfully at choir practice 3 times a week, just for the sake of those relationships. And I've ended up having an absolute blast doing it as well. I love learning the singing and the dancing. I've just made some really good friends here, and I can just sit, spend time, get to know them, get to know the struggles and the hardships in their lives, and just speak hopefully what I would hope would be encouragement to them and point them more to Christ. I have just felt more at home here than I ever thought possible. Living halfway around the world, yet I feel more at home here than I do sometimes back in America. And I think that's in large part due to the relationships. At this point, I see myself serving in South Sudan as long as the Lord continues to call me here. I'm at home in this country, and I know that the Lord can call. My whole journey into missions to South Sudan has very much been the Lord's leading, so I am ready to listen to Him and to go wherever He calls me, but right now it is South Sudan. Some of the biggest prayer requests I may have would first of all just be for the transition well into doing life in Marin. Even though I have learned more about South Sudan, the culture, by being here in the town of Tarit, going out to the village will be something entirely new and different as well. You can also be praying for the church here in Tarit. These past 2 years in Tarit, the emphasis really has been on just working with the believers here and praying that they too would have a desire to reach the unreached. And yeah, you can also just be praying for the many unreached people groups here in South Sudan, that the gospel would reach to them. I would just love to say thank you to everyone at Foothills for all the support, the prayer. Just prayer means so much, and know that I think about you all there often, and I'm just so encouraged to have a church on board, not with what I'm doing, but with what the Lord is doing, and that has been a big encouragement to me.